What's going on, guys? It's David here, back with another episode of picking up heavy things and putting it back down. As you may or may not be aware, I'm 3 weeks out from competition, and the training so far has been going alright. So currently I'm a few kilos over my weight class. So my weight class is 75 kilos. I'm about 77 or 78 kilos at the moment, depending on whenever I weigh myself. The idea is I want to actually be comfortable to actually fit into that weight class and have a light breakfast in the morning, so that I don't do anything extreme like a water cut. So this is our volume session. So with these squats mainly here, one thing that I would actually note that perhaps I'm not the most happy with the depth here, but partly because I'm actually cheating a little bit. I think part of that is also just the fact that the weight is a little bit heavier than normal, and something that I'm a little bit uncomfortable with, but I'm managing semi-decently, I would say. It might also be the fact with the angle of the camera, and I think I'm just being a little bit hard on myself, but you know, this is something that I actually need to do in order to be critical and actually analyse my squat to actually be as best as possible. But generally, it's been actually translating quite well onto my intensity day, as you will see further on into the video. But generally, this isn't too bad. I'm glad I actually got through this 5x5 without any issues. Next up is the bench press. So this is 67.5 kilos. Things have been getting a little bit heavier. I'm actually using more of a touch and go bench press since the weights have actually been a bit more difficult. So going forward now, I'm actually going to focus on just pausing on mainly the last reps of each of my sets, and that's just to kind of make it a little bit, to get that pause form in and actually practice in preparation for the competition, as this is a required skill. So fourth set here, same sort of status and scenario, so actually just trying to actually ramp out these reps as quickly as possible, and just trying to groove it, actually get comfortable and figure out where it's actually best to actually touch the bar onto my chest. And generally it wasn't too bad, no real complaints. It's my deadlift warm up, so this is part of the intensity day. This is the last warm up I did, and this was an assessment of whether I should do 155 kilos or 157.5 kilos. I ended up deciding 155 kilos after popping to the loo, and I thought this was actually a safe choice if you see how some of these reps are moving. So, you know, I think when I set up and actually push my setup into bar positioning with the bar, it's actually pretty comfortable. This last rep, I did need to actually take a little bit of breath, so it's kind of like 2 doubles and a single for this set to get the triple. But even though it was a little bit slow, we still got it. Obviously I'm still holding on at the end just to kind of get the grip, so that should be very, very feasible potentially as an opener. So the next thing we have here is our squat. So we've got 125 kilos here. It's getting more and more intimidating, but you know, I'm going from what we saw last week with 124. It was actually good considering. So I filmed it at this angle particularly just to kind of assess the depth. Now obviously, you know, the BDFPA is not associated with the IPF, which actually has to, you know, gauge depth at a completely different standard. But generally I want to obviously keep myself accountable because I have a personal standard as well. So depth wise, not too bad. The reps are moving fairly smoothly. I'm taking a bit of time to breathe in between each of the reps as well, and that's more so just to actually get more comfortable, set myself up again for each rep, and treat it closer to actually more of a 1 rep max, even though this is going to be, you know, this is on my back for a considerably longer amount of time than it would be for 1 rep. And same again goes for the bench press. Now I was supposed to go for a triple, that didn't quite happen. We've only got double on this round. I think part of this is just I'm a little bit weak in the upper body. I probably need to put on a bit of extra mass and actually just practice a little bit more with that pause bench and actually trying to really so I can actually force through on the sticky parts, which is just off the chest, but generally not too bad. So, well, that concludes this week's episode, and I'll see you guys again next week for some more fun and games. Bye bye.